I'm working on a Gotlieb replay unit out of an old Royal Guard. The issue is when I got it, it was completely jammed up. Nothing was working really. So I did what everybody did. I did the YouTube search, and want to send out a big thank you to the guys at the Goat Shed. They got several videos on rebuilding this stepper unit, and it really helped a lot. So after a whole bunch of cleaning and rebuilding, I kind of got it to here, and here's where I am, and I'm not sure whether this is proper or not, so that's why I'm doing this video. You can see it's at 0, and if you fire the coil, it steps. So the first issue I found was this pin, this one right here, was actually in this hole. So you can see we're only at 12, the reel goes to 15. You step it a couple more times. What was happening was this pin was in this hole, so it would jam against this spring. And yes, before you tell me, yeah, I know that spring's kind of janky, but hey, it works, so I'm just going to leave it. So what I ended up doing was moving that screw from here to here. I'm not sure what that does. Obviously, it does something, but I couldn't make it work any other way. It would always jam. The spring was bent up weird anyway. So I played with bending the spring again. Anyway, the only way I can make it count up is to move that from this hole to this hole, and now it counts. But if it just keeps firing, it goes above 15 and finally jams on the spring again. Unless you fire this coil. So let's just pretend we've got it at, we've got a higher number. Let's just take it down a bit. So I get it. This coil is supposed to reduce this number, and if you fire it, it kind of does, but what happens is this lock comes in and jams. So I'm not sure if you can see it properly, but let's do that again. Let's pull that out of the way. So if this fires, this coil fires, this lock comes into place and prevents this pawl from coming back. The only way I can make it count down is if this coil fires, to pull this out of the way, right? And you hold this coil on and fire this coil. And now the score reel goes down. And then when this unlocks, boom, we're back to 0. So the question is this right? Is this coil supposed to fire and hold on to make this? Do both coils need to fire to get this thing to reduce and count? So once again, single coil, right? It locks, right? But if I want to step it up, no problem. I can fire this coil, so it's at 0. Fire the coil, goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's cool. But I can't fire this coil by itself because this lock comes into play and locks it. The only way to do it is fire this one and then go. But my issue with it is, now when I move this post, I can overcount. I can go above 15. And is that okay? Is that normal? Before, what would happen is it'd get to about 12 and it would jam on the spring. So here's my questions. What's going to happen now that I moved it from there to there? And am I right that both coils have to fire to make this thing reduce?